heart. Let's take a little dip in the ocean. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. A-L-O-H-A. A little aloha in our day. Sing it out, gang. We'll spread a little aloha around the world. A-L-O-H-A. A little aloha in our day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll spread a little aloha around the world. 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 Hey, gang. Okay.
I believe we're live now. So, good morning to everyone here and elsewhere. Uh, okay, good. Okay, little sound adjustment here. Okay, again, welcome to everyone here and everyone who's tuning in from other places. It's the New Thoughts service of October 23rd, and I'm here on the beautiful lanai of Pualani Terrace overlooking the ocean. My name is Pasha, and I'm facilitating this morning. Our guest speaker is Meera Ojala, and our music minister is Mahina Saunders. The people on the lanai have been enjoying her music, and everybody will get to hear more of it a little bit later. And thank you, Lynn. I was feeling a little lack of flowers on the table, although not really a lack of flowers because our lay minister went wild today and brought 3 lays. Thank you, Patty. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do today is have a reading from Science of Mind magazine, and I'm going to ask Erin Peoples to come up and share that with us.
Good morning. So today's reading from Science Magazine is from October 23rd, in case you want to follow along. And the reading today is called Saturated with Divinity. And the first quote is by Helena P. Blavatsky. Do you remember Helen Blavatsky? And who was the other one? Alice. I forget. I read her books. Anyway, her quote today is, "Be humble. If thou wouldst attain to wisdom, be humbler still when wisdom thou hast mastered." Turning from every objective fact to the divine within you is turning from conditions to causes, to that realm of absolute being that, through self knowingness, creates the form it projects and enters into the experience it creates. Thus, the spirit comes to self fulfillment in everything. Everything is alive with God, saturated with divinity. We must learn to become consciously aware of the divine presence and the divine power, the wholeness of truth, of love, of reason, and of sound mind. Instead of dwelling on negative thoughts, cause your mind to dwell on peace and joy. Know that the power of invisible spirit is working in and through you now at this very moment. Okay, that was from This Thing Called You. Now we have a little bit more, and then after that, the affirmation. Most of the time, we face objective facts pretty efficiently. At home, it's our responsibility to our families and ourselves to do it. At work, we're paid to do it. As we mature, we get better at it. And this is not what Ernest is suggesting we turn from. He means in our spiritual practice, in that time we set aside to commune with the infinite and get our thinking clear about the absolute from which the relative derives. To enter the absolute is to carry our minds to a place where the facts are not unproblematic, but there literally are no facts to carve up, no facts to carve up the undivided whole. Spirit knows only itself, not denominations or compartments of itself. It's our human business to particularize it, our spiritual business to revisit it in the absolute for refreshment and rejuvenation. Okay, got through that. Now the affirmation, and I've been asked to say it in 3 parts so that we really get it. I'll read it through once and then we'll do it together in parts. Today, I have no fear of the past, present, or future. I live in trust and wonder. Okay, so let's say it. I'll repeat it and then you repeat after me. Today, I have no fear of the past.
Today I have no fear of the past,
no fear of the present or future,
no fear of the present or future.
I live in trust and wonder.
I live in trust and wonder. Beautiful reading. Thank you, Erin. So I'm going to invite all of us to just take a few minutes to reflect on that or do whatever it is that helps you to be fully present in the moment and ready to receive blessings. And since one of our themes today has to do with healing, I'd like to also put in a request for to send some healing energy to the emergency room of Kona Hospital because Stephen called Jeff to say that was why he wasn't here on the lanai because he needed to get clear on some unusual physical thing he's experiencing. So just it, we're all here assembled and all in cyberspace. Send some good energy in that direction. Know that he will have his needs met. And any other people that or animals that you care about that are in need of healing, include them too. And I'll do the little chimes to signify when to bring your consciousness back here. Thank you. Welcome back. I think it's time for a song.
Aloha, everyone. Um, my usual singing partner, Christy, is not here with me today. She's on the mainland gallivanting with her daughters and having a good time. So have a good vacation there, Christy. She'll be back to sing for us when she gets back. She loves it. So I decided to break away from my usual, and I'm going to kind of shake the dust off of some of my own songs. And I'm really rusty, but this is kind of a safe place, and it feels good for me to do that here. Some kind of a step out. I mean, Hawaiian music, yeah, loud mouth all over the place, but this is kind of like but I'll go try. So, um, and of course, they kind of speak for themselves. Okay. How do I talk to you, my son? Who am I to tell you how it's done? It's not like my life's been a perfect one. So tell me, how do I talk to you, my son? How do I give you what I've learned of love's bright candle bound being burned? The things that I've gotten, the things I've spurned. Tell me, how do I give you what I've learned? How do I tell you to look inside? Youth is so vital, so full of pride, filled with the passions you cannot hide. Tell me, how do I tell you to look inside? The answers are there if your heart is true, but I can't tell you what to do. Life's lessons have to be learned by you, but the answers are there if your heart is true. So tell me, how do I talk to you, my son? Who am I to tell you how it's done? It's not like my life's been a perfect one. So tell me, how do I talk to you, my son? He finally heard me.
Oh,
At least a
thank
little
you,
bit.
Mahina. Welcome to the folks that have just arrived. Um, so, once again, I'm Pasha. This is our guest speaker, Meera, and you just heard Mahina singing an original song. That's wonderful. Thank you. Addressing a universal desire of parents to somehow communicate effectively with the next generation and maybe save them some of the suffering that or difficult lessons that we may have learned. Yeah, yeah. Well, very lovely. So it's. I would like to take a little time to introduce New Thought as an entity. Um, New Thought has existed in, well, The philosophy has existed in some form for well over 100 years, but this particular uh, congregation in Kona has existed here in Kona since 1971. It's gone through some changes of name, changes of location, but there's a direct line. Um, and one of the things that expresses who we are, of course, it's always somewhat in flux. We're recreating all the time. But if you look at the logo here, it was created by one of our New Thought elders, Morty Breyer. And if you look in the middle section of it, it's got symbols for many of the world's faith traditions. So that's one aspect of New Thought Center of Hawaii is we're not just interfaith, we're multi-faith. And we welcome sincere seekers and practitioners of many different paths, believing that ultimately they will all lead to the attainment of the goal, and we'll all be together there on the mountaintop. Uh, our most recent addition to our definition attempt to define who we are happened at a board visioning gathering maybe 5 years ago. We're kind of overdue for one, but at that time, the the participating board members tried to come up with descriptive phrases, and so they're sort of clustered, but none is more important than any other. So here's what we came up with: that New Thought Center of Hawaii is inspiring, igniting, a center of light and wisdom. It is warm, accepting, inclusive, welcoming, and celebrating diversity. It is supportive, connected, community minded, unique, and quirky. And the person who was leading us through this process says, keep the quirky. It's okay. It's good. So I would also like to take a little time here just to welcome any first time visitors. Is there anyone here on the lanai that it's their first time attending New Thought? Wonderful. Could you say your name and how you happen to be here this morning? Oh, well, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Maliana Rainbow. Excellent. And a Kama Aina, but just here for the first time. Did someone invite you? Sarah? She's she's there. Okay, wonderful. Well, I'm glad that you're to have you with us this morning. Clary, yes. James kind of introduced you a little bit last week and told the group that yes, we would probably see you this week. So welcome, Clary. Good to have you. So you have a little one? Oh, wonderful. Well, we need that. We need the young energy. We're glad for that. It makes life more interesting for Faith, who's kind of a steady attendee. Yeah. So moving on, I'm trying to give Meera a little bit of extra time because she has wonderful things in store for us today. Um, so I'm going to keep things flowing, and we'll do another song followed by Miracles and Ordinaries, and then I will officially introduce her. You're, yes.
All righty. Well, songs come in all kind of different ways, and I'm not particularly a songwriter, just kind of a writer and a singer. And so one evening I had been spending a lot of time doing my inner work and stuff like that. And this one night I just went to sleep and woke up with the first verse in my head and tried to go back to sleep and came back with the second verse in my head. And I mean, it wasn't going to let me go. And I woke up with the song in my head. So this song is actually to my higher self, your thought adjuster, your God spark, your whoever that is for you. And it's called Simply I Love You. Again, I'm very rusty. This song doesn't have that much to tell you, but it tells you all you need to know. My love for you has no ceiling. I love you to the depths of my soul. But this song isn't filled with information. This song doesn't have that much to say. Just that my love for you is constant as the ocean, and as sure as the dawning of the day. If simplicity were really that simple, then everyone would simplify their show. But most people keep life so confusing. Oh, it's not easy, but it's simple, don't they know? Well, most people are a walking contradiction between what they really mean and what they say. I find it hard to understand the separation. Simply I love you in each and every way. Well, if simplicity were really that simple, then everyone would simplify their show. But most people keep life so confusing. It's not easy, but it's simple, don't they know? Well, most people are a walking contradiction between what they really mean and what they say. I find it hard to understand the separation. Simply I love you in each and every way. Simply I love you, that's what I mean to say.
I love that song. I'm glad you woke up for it.
It's when the iron strikes, you can be driving and whenever the inspiration is like, don't say later because,
Wow. That was awesome. So the part of our program that we enter now is the time for the sharing of what we call miracles and ordinaries. And there are many definitions, but here's one I like: that miracles are special happenings, insights, And they're miracles because they're kind of unexpected. They remind us of truth. They change us. But they're also ordinary because they happen in the midst of our daily lives. They're the stuff of our daily lives. And the lessons are there to serve us right now. So, no big or small. If it feels to you like a miracle, come on up and share. The microphone here it can be adjusted to different heights.
This is the world's second worst phone. The worst phone was the phone that broke before this one. And we've been trying to connect, being very far apart, Clary and I, at this point, not when we met. And this phone is not cooperating. Messaging, on my end, it just doesn't work much. But somehow we got through it. And she's not a phone person. I'm not a texting person. And today it looked like, nah, no way. And, but on faith, I came here anyway. And I came hoping that we could reconnect with the phones not really working. And she forgot hers as she drove out of the house and came back and got the phone. And I'm up there on the highway going, this is an interesting little adventure. Well, the journey worked out. And I'm very happy that my partner is here with me.
Thank you, James. It's funny, before cell phones, that was just ordinary life, right? Does anyone else feel moved to share something? Yeah, just pull it down to the right height.
Good morning. So, as I walked in a little bit late, I hear a song about how can I tell you, my son, what to do? I hadn't spoken to my son, who's like completely opposite from me. Sons like to be different than their moms, right? So I hadn't spoken to him for a while. I didn't know if we would ever speak about real things, maybe just "I love you" kind of thing, real surface. And so last night I sent him a corny song, and he called me and he talked to me about how he was changing, working on himself. It was a really beautiful moment. And Clary shared that she had some moments about her son.
Thank you, Candy. We seem to have a theme going here, don't we? Yeah. I think we have time for one or two more, and then I'll introduce our speaker. Hey, welcome back. Somebody just slipped into the back there that I haven't seen for quite a long time. A few years. Yes, Apurva, welcome. That's a miracle. The sort of the reconnection and just people that we haven't seen for years and we have warm feelings for, and all of a sudden there they are. Yeah.
Hi. So I'm creating a miracle. This community understands how we manifest when we put things out to each other. And sometimes my efforts, go in phases. So I'm creating a miracle, and that miracle is every year, Ram Dass, before he made his passing, had all of the the Maharaji Neem Karoli Baba devotees come out to Maui, and they all go over to Maui. And Krishna Das is one of my favorite kirtan. He is the kirtan singer for me. He opened my heart when it was very closed, and I love to go over there. And the retreat is like $2,000, but the kirtan, the night that he comes, he does a kirtan, and this year it's at Napili Kai Resort, which is absolutely beautiful. So what I am creating as a miracle is that I bought 2 tickets and I got a buddy plane ride, and I'm working on the place to stay. So the right person is going to appear that loves Krishna Das and loves kirtan, especially his beautiful voice. And they might get to fly on the plane with me for free and get the ticket for free if they can help um, find the place to stay and what have you. And Jeff recommended one person that might come through, but so maybe that'll happen. I definitely know it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So
Can you say when, please?
oh, sure. That is the Sunday after Thanksgiving. Sunday, flying out in the morning, and the kirtan is at 4 in the afternoon, goes till about 6:30 or 7, and then flying back the next day.
All right, Aaron, we'll look forward to hearing the full
Miracle.
manifestation of the. You have to have the concept of it before it can manifest, right? So wonderful. Thank you. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and start the introduction so that Mira can actually be speaking in less than 5 minutes. So her topic is cultivating hope during challenging times. Um, and she will be sharing a variety of practices that helped her to cultivate hope during her 2 bouts with cancer. These experiences motivated her to write a book called The Little Book of Hope, which is here this morning at the far end of the double table. Um, Her talk will include 1 or 2 simple practices for all of us to experience. To give you a little background on Meera herself, she graduated with a master's degree from Naropa University's Somatic Psychology program in 1998. She worked and trained with Christine Caldwell, founder of the Moving Cycle Institute and a department head of Somatic Psychology Department of Naropa University. She also studied with Anna Halpern, creator of the Life Art Process, and she began this life in Finland. Um, Following her graduation, she worked in various clinical therapeutic settings using movement, art, yoga, adventure therapy, and meditation as ways to facilitate healing. She is a licensed professional counselor. And Mira is not a stranger to New Thought. This is her first Sunday talk, but she has taught meditation classes here previously and shown a film about the life of Amma, the hugging saint. A wonderful, wonderful experience. And she has a website. She'll share after after the talk. She can share about that. You know how to connect with her and find out all the different things that she has to offer. Right now, please help me welcome Meera Ojala.
That's good. Yeah. Well, we don't have the mic on yet. Is it on? Thank you, Pasha. She invited me to be here today. And thank you, New Thought Center, who is people and the place, who is holding so much beautiful energy, events, and beautiful souls Thank you, everybody who's here today. Thank you for coming and sharing this moment together. I want to thank you. I'm grateful for being in this beautiful place, island of Mokuokabe, and I want to thank Creator for being alive and the life energy that's flowing in each of us that brought us here and brings us insights and inspiration. So, mahalo ke akua. So, where I wanted to start, I'm going to talk about hope and how to cultivate it. But there is the darkness and there's the light. So, I wanted to actually start with hopelessness because sometimes we go to those places. And one thing that's really important, I feel, that if we go to, even if it's a moment of hopelessness, that we ask for help. So, my most deepest moment of hopelessness was when I was experiencing my first cancer and I had been in a lot of pain, excruciating pain, and then some treatments that caused more pain. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. So I was totally worn out emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. And that day when I woke up again with so much pain, my friend was there from Finland, dear, dear friend. I said to her, I can't go on anymore. I'm giving up. This is just too much. I'm worn out. But she was there. I uttered these words, and she, thank God, didn't give me a pep talk. You can do it. She was just holding my hand, singing to me. She massaged my feet. She caressed my head. She was giving me all this love and singing these beautiful like hymns from my childhood and kirtan and everything, like all the world's religions songs were pouring in her love. And I cried and I cried. And finally I slept. I hadn't slept for a long time. And when I woke up, I felt different. I had gotten rest, I had gotten love, I had shared my hopelessness. And I felt different. I was, maybe I can do this. I can do one day at a time. And that sparked also my interest of, well, how do I cultivate hope? I knew that the friend support and the love was very important. But as a psychotherapist, I wanted to also think about other things and ways. And so I looked into literature, and maybe I wasn't doing a good search, or it was 2014. There wasn't as much. Now there's a lot of books about hope because COVID kind of challenged all of us. So I didn't find really good books about hope, or they were too academic. So I was like, you're tired, you're pain, you can't read a medical textbook. Or it was more about coping, how do you cope? So I said, okay, I kind of wanted to investigate what was it for me, and I started to write. So I had a blog. That was my way to communicate with friends because I was too tired to call or email. So I wrote things on a blog, and I started to write little splurts of poetry or thoughts of hope. And they were saying, oh, that was great. I like that. I was like, well, I'm not a writer. English is my third language. I don't know how to write. But that encouraged me. And so I kept writing and also just kind of researching in myself what gives me hope. And then after the second cancer, I actually put some writings in a book. And since nature has been always inspiration and support for me, I wanted to have nature pictures as a part of the book. And now there's a research how being in a nature uplifts your mood. Well, we all know that. There's a research about a lot of things that we know, but now they're confirming it. So that's how the book started and my interest in hope started. And what is hope? It's not same as a wish. When we say, have a good day,
It's really like, I wish that you have a good day. I hope it's something different. But I wanted to share a couple quotes about hope because different people look at things differently. So, one definition is by people, Quinn and Hellman, they wrote a big book called Hope Rising. They did a lot of research actually, and they have Camp for Hope for trauma survivors. So they done a lot of research about hope. So they say, hope is the belief that your future can be better and brighter, and you play a role in making it better. That's all good, but it's not enough for me because sometimes you don't see a way to make it better. You are just there, hopeless. Just like I was when I was sick. I didn't see, oh, now there's a miracle drug and you'll be fine tomorrow. I didn't see any way to make it better. So in my book, I define in order to cultivate hope, you don't need evidence. You need the power of your heart and soul to invite the light in. And I'll talk about that light a little more later. I wanted to read what Desmond Tutu says. Hope is able Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all the darkness. We know night comes and in the morning the sun rises. So everything always changes. So even if we're middle of the darkness, there will be light. Some point, we don't know how and when. A doctor called Joseph Pelizzo says hope is the bridge between the impossible and the possible. And I like that because you're kind of building the bridge. You might not know what it's made of. Like for me was just going one day at a time and exploring what helps me to put the next board on my bridge and building the bridge to go towards the hope. So those are some definitions, and I said I would say more about light. So we all have light force. Some of it's experience, life force. Some of it us experience it very strongly, but every culture talks about it. Chi, prana, ha. So that life force that runs through us, we can cultivate it different ways. But I believe that that life force is really the light that lights the pilot light of the hope. So our life force lights the pilot light of hope. So for me, one important thing is how do I cultivate then my life force? And there's other parts because our mind, of course, plays a big role. How we perceive things, how we deal with our feelings, how we deal with the obstacles and challenges that can start to take us downwards. So, very couple of very important, powerful things that I've been practicing and discovering and studying. One of them is breath, and such a simple thing. We all are breathing. So, okay, yeah, I'm breathing. But if we actually bring awareness to the breath, we can change our states, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual states. So there's a lot of power of breath. And awareness of the breath, we can really connect to ourselves, our feelings, our bodies, so we're able to assess what's going on. So I say breath is my friend. So how do I cultivate in every moment, noticing where it is, how it is? So how do I consciously change it if I need to get energized or if I need to calm down? We all know physically, if we have deep breath, how it nurtures our body. We are not in a stress state, we are more in a parasympathetic. So there's all those levels. Such a simple thing. Breath is powerful. The other thing that I was very grateful that before I got sick, I had a long practice of meditation. because the meditation practice allowed me to witnessing. I see more like you zooming out. So you are having an experience, either it's emotional or mental or situational, relational, and you zoom out to witness, what am I feeling here right now? So the meditation practice helped me to practice that, like situations like I'm in a doctor's office and he's telling, well, if you do all of these and then you have so and so many percentage chance to surviving. And it's really scary, like, well, the other percentage, they all die. So I had to zoom, like, okay, that's the doctor's research. He's telling me this story, but I'm creating my story. Where am I? What am I doing? I'm doing more things maybe than those people in the research. And so it just gives you a bigger picture when you can zoom out and witness instead of being more in it and not able to expand. So witnessing was very important. Also, witnessing that I'm more than a cancer patient, because it's easy to just get to that, whatever self image we have. I'm more than my job, I'm more than my diagnosis, I'm more than that. Also, witnessing all of who I am. I'm a soul on a journey. So, remembering that bigger picture. So, mindfulness, I want to read actually definition because somebody said it better than me. Mindfulness is a mental state that's achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations. So I feel like the meditation practice really helps to cultivate mindfulness, because mindfulness is really, how do I live in the world day to day, moment to moment, being present here and now? Because our mind is so wild. So it goes there and here. But it becomes so much more alive when we are present in a moment. Like, for example, my dishwasher broke a long time ago. So I had to start to do dishes by hand. And I just wanted to get it done, the whole pile. And then I was like, I'm not in a hurry. Let's practice mindfulness while I'm washing the dishes. It's just a simple example. And it's so much more enjoyable. I'm feeling the water, I'm looking at the color of the plate, I'm doing one dish at a time. So that can be applied to anything. When you're walking at the grocery store, you could feel your feet, you could see the people. Even if you're in a hurry, you can still be present. Actually, you get more done when you're present, because when you're absent-minded, you end up forgetting and going back and going to the room. What did I came here for? We all done that. So being present helps us then to notice what's going on with me, so we can actually be aware and witness and then adjust. Because so often we can have tension and we just keep going to more tension. We keep going, gathering more, whether it's emotional or physical tension, when we don't notice it. So, really being aware, what am I feeling in my body, in my emotions, in my mind? Being aware, how do I interpret things? So, here we come to perspective. What color glasses am I watching the world through? We can choose that. We have certain tendencies from our life experiences, but we can choose how we interpret things. Again, if we are aware, sometimes it's so automatic that we just go into the anger. I'll tell an example. A few days ago, I'm talking with a friend, and we are friends, but we have very different opinions about certain things. And she can be very strong in saying her opinions, and I try to say mine, but it's not heard. And I just started to watch my body, how I was tensing up and getting a little hot inside the body. I was, okay, I'm getting a little agitated here. So I just said, this is kind of uncomfortable. Let's just change this topic. And it was all gone. So simple. Instead of building up the tension or trying to, I call it ping pong game, when I'm doing my shot and they doing their shot and I do my shot. Sometimes, if you like debating, can be fun, but it can also take a lot of your energy. So I prefer to be relaxed, better for my body and my mood. So that was a simple example. I do want to tell the Zen story. Some of you know it, but it's such a good story. So once upon a time in China, there was a farmer in a village. And the farmer had a horse that was helping with the fields and the son who was helping with the work. So one day the horse escaped and the neighbor came to the farmer and said, "So I heard your horse ran away. Oh, that's so terrible." But the farmer said, maybe." So the next day the horse came back with two wild horses. And the neighbor ran over again and, "Oh, exciting. I heard that you have now two new horses. How exciting." And the farmer said, maybe." And the next day, the farmer's son was riding one of the wild horses, but the son fell off and broke his leg. So the neighbor came over. "Oh, I heard the terrible news. Your son broke his leg. Oh, terrible." The farmer said, maybe. The next day, the king's army came and they took all the young people to war except the farmer's son, who was in the bed with the broken leg. So we don't know when something happens, why it happens. It might be difficult. And that's where it comes. How do we deal with our feelings? How do we share them? Bessel van der Kolk, who's done a lot of studies about trauma, he says, if we learn self-regulation, which he means learning to deal with our feelings so they don't get overwhelming, and he suggests mindfulness practices like yoga, meditation, breath work. And then if we really work with our feelings and we decide what we think about, how we interpret the event, and then we get support, we can work through things. So deciding, how do we decide? How do we choose what interpretation we take from the challenging events? That's the mind control job, or being aware of your mind so you don't let yourself go to those, what we call cognitive distortions. So you're thinking about the worst case scenario. Something happens and you go down the rabbit hole. But now this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. And then you are in a hopeless state. So how do we catch ourselves from that kind of cognitive, self-destructive stories that cause more pain than actual event? So when there's challenges, how do we face them and deal with the feelings, share them? Even just sharing something releases a lot. There was one morning I was on a walk and I was feeling tired and there was something troubling me. And just the person who I meet on a walk said, "How are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, not so good, didn't sleep well." Because I'm not used to still saying that I'm fine. Like in our culture, we do that a lot. I grew up in Finland and we say what we mean. We mean what we say. So I can't say I'm fine if I'm not fine. So whether or not this person wanted to hear it, I said, "Oh, I'm not so good, didn't sleep so well." And then he stopped and was like, "Well, why didn't you sleep well?" He took an interest. And then I shared something, not anything detailed, but, and then when we had this short conversation, I felt different because I had just shared my grumpiness. And my grumpiness was gone. So by sharing, we can release instead of just holding it, holding it, holding it. So since I feel that the awareness is so important in terms of cultivating, noticing where we are so we can be in our full life energy instead of holding tension, holding emotional, mental tension, I would like to do a practice here together. You can be sitting in your chair, but I would like you to face a partner that you go into. First, we're going to kind of focus on ourselves, and then there's a little interaction. So you can be in your chair, but find somebody to face. So you are, I know, you don't have to be very close. I'm going to lead it. So maybe if you can turn your chair that you're facing your partner, so you kind of, does everybody have a, there's somebody else without the partner. So wave your hand if you don't have a partner. The newcomer, I think, doesn't have a partner. So first part, ooh, that was loud, sorry. Got your attention. So first part is for you, and then the second part, you're connecting. So is everybody with me? I would like you to either close your eyes, or if you're not comfortable closing your eyes, looking down to the floor. So we're going to start with really focusing on your own breath and your own body. So you could feel maybe how the air is coming in through your nose, going down to your throat, to your lungs, maybe to your belly, and then noticing how the air flows out. Same way. Maybe you could breathe out through your mouth if you want, but please, if possible, breathe in through your nose. So first, just following your breath, how it flows in and how it flows out, connecting to your breath. If your mind starts to wander, just feel the sensation of your breath. Air going in and air flowing out. Staying connected with your breath. Breathing in and out. And then even noticing your body, still feeling your breath, but noticing if there's any tension in any part, and just saying hello. It's not you have to fix it or make it wrong. Just kind of acknowledging, saying hello. Or if you have to adjust your posture, if it feels like, oh, I'm not really comfortable here. So still following your breath, but also noticing your body. Staying inner focused, even if there's sounds around, the focus is inside for another moment. Your breath and your body. Couple more breaths, focusing inside your breath and your body. And then very gently, if you had your eyes closed, have a very soft focus looking at the floor. So you're kind of bringing a little bit of your awareness to the outside world, but not too much. Just a really gentle, soft focus. And notice if you're still noticing your breath and your body while you notice the color of the floor. And if you lose connection to your breath, you can close your eyes and reconnect. And then again, open and okay, I see the color of the floor and I still feel my breath. I still feel my body. So a little bit attention on outside world while you're still focusing awareness also your body and your breath. So make sure you once open your eyes and look at the floor before we move to the next step. Noticing the floor and see if you still notice your breath and your body while you notice the color of the floor. And then very gently, very slowly, you lift your gaze to look at your partner. Just to look. And now notice, do you still notice your breath and your body while you're seeing your partner? So, can I be out in the world and feel myself? If you get lost looking at their eyes, looking at their body, close your eyes again and reconnect with your breath. This is not about being a good partner. This is an exploration of your attention and your awareness. So, anytime you can close your eyes again if you want to reconnect with your breath. So, look at your partner, see, oh, where's my breath now? How is my body? Am I losing myself when I'm observing her face, her face, eyes? So, you're playing with your attention outside and inside. Outside and inside. Can you do it same time? Or does it go back and forth? Did I see my partner? I feel my breath. Just play with that another moment. You can close your eyes anytime if you feel like, I don't feel my breath now. Or if your body feels uncomfortable, you can adjust. Do I still notice my breath? So you're just focusing on yourself and your partner. Just notice. There's no judgment, no right or wrong. You don't have to smile to your partner. You don't have to do anything, just exploring your awareness and attention. Is it hard to look at the partner? It's okay. Close your eyes, go back to yourself. There's no right or wrong. Is it hard to feel your breath? Just notice it. Can't no right or wrong. It's an exploration. And then we have one more part. Just with one word or three or one sentence, share something with your partner, what you're noticing. Nothing special. I'm noticing that this is hard. I'm noticing my breath is hard to connect with my breath. I'm noticing this is good, challenging. And when you say that sentence to your partner, still see if you can notice your breath and your body while you're speaking. So, just one sentence, sharing your experience in this moment, feeling your breath and your body. Thank you for being willing to try that on. It's interesting. I think everybody can experience things differently. For some people, it comes easily. Some people, it can be very challenging to go inside or calm the mind that goes on and on. Um, we would have time if one or two people want to say any comments about the practice, the exercise, before I do my closing comments.
Omai said that she felt balance, and I said I think that's what is important. What you are helping us do is the balance between the out and the in.
Balance, yes, balance. Because, well, we all have different attentional patterns, but many of us, I'm in a woman's body, so I'm kind of have at least at the caring and being empath. So I'm often outside. So when I learned this practice from my teacher Christine Caldwell at the during the time I studied with her, for me it was a really really important tool that I use every day, whether it's in relationships or my work, when I work with people, that I check in with myself so I don't lose myself or start to carry a lot of tension, or even the beliefs like, oh, now I'm going, this is going to happen. Oh, okay, what am I thinking? My shoulders are coming up. That's one sign. We sometimes we have a body sign that says it can be the belly contracting. For me, it's the shoulders starting to come up. Okay, oh, yeah, I'm a little tense or anxious or worried. So it can be nice to find out what is your little check engine light in your body. Like, oh, okay, something needs attention. But if we're not aware, we just keep driving until the machine breaks, right? One way or another, nervous breakdown, whatever, we have illnesses, whatever, high blood pressure. So pay attention to the check engine light. It's there for a reason, but we can't see it or hear it or feel it if we're not aware, if we don't cultivate. So this practice can be helpful, and it gets easier like anything if you do it again. You just, some of you experience it first time. Go ahead.
Also noticed we were sitting in silence most of the time with each other, but the noise in the room started getting more and more. And then what struck me was that we like to hide behind our words.
We like to hide behind our words. Yes, that's a good catch. Or like Mahina's song was, we saying things, but we don't always mean it. So how do we connect to our truth? That's a very powerful thing. How do we connect to our truth? How do we connect to the higher power? How do we connect? If we are too busy in our minds, in our words, we just get confused. Yeah. One more comment, if there is. Yes. Connected? So you were able to connect both inside and outside. Yeah. Great. Feeling connected, heart, soul level. Yes, that's beautiful. What is more powerful than being connected at the heart level? Instead of our judgment, this person looks that way, so I'm making up this story, who she, he is, instead of let's drop the story. Let's connect from the heart to my truth. And then we connect differently. And then we don't create that anxiety that creates hopelessness. So, just to recap, so to keep the life force going, to keep the pilot light of hope going, there are lots of practices, mindfulness, gratitude practice, because what we focus on will grow. It's so true. So if we focus on what I'm grateful for, I will have more of that. And I don't mean just saying once a day, I'm grateful to be alive. I feel you can be grateful for the meal you have. Where did this rice or this quinoa grow? It's on my plate now. Where did this lettuce come that I'm eating right now? I'm grateful for this abundance of food on my plate. Where it somebody is having a trouble, and being grateful for the people around us. Being grateful. What we focus on will grow. And there was one more thought I thought, but I lost it. Um, well, we talked about the changing perspective and visualization. I have one story about that. When I was very sick, laying on on a bed, I would watch. I look at magazines. I could hardly read, and there was this picture of a lady who was on a beach, jumping up, arms up, and I was like, I'm going to be that. And I cut the picture, and it was on my night table, and I knew exactly which beach, my favorite beach. When I get back to Hawaii, I was on the treatments on mainland. I'm going to go and jump on that beach. And how does it feel to be on that beach and jump up? And I forgot how long time it was. I was on the beach jumping up. Somebody took my picture. So the power of visualizing yourself in a place or in a state where you want to be is very powerful. So we should not forget that. And I wanted to read one poem from my book. It's called Seed of Hope. It's a miracle how from a tiny seed a huge tree grows. In a similar way, from one drop of hope, a stream of hope develops that leads to an ocean of possibilities where small and big miracles can arise from. Hope is a seed to a new future. An open mind is the fertile soil for that seed. Loving thoughts and prayers are the nurturing raindrops. So may we all cultivate actions of hope and love and be kind to ourselves and others. Thank you.
Thank you, Mira. That was so nourishing. Wow. I really appreciate the authenticity.
I guess it's a cultural value of Finland, right? Mm. Well, now is the time to consider how we can support New Thought Center and sh- share appropriately, whether it's on a physical level or a spiritual level. And as the strength of the pandemic is waning finally, we are able to actually pass our beautiful koa bowl, which was gifted to New Thought many years ago. Um, so, Mahina, what have you got for us in the way of offertory music? For the people who are watching our service online, if you want to make a donation, you can go to the New Thought website and there's a donate button. The donate button connects directly to our PayPal, and we are happy to receive gifts in that form. And you don't have to do it. You don't have to have a PayPal account to donate that way. There's an option to donate by credit card if you prefer. I'm going to wait till the music starts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I was thinking about my kids, so we have one more kind of universal. We were all a kid once, right? I'm still a kid. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. What else I want to be when I grow up. We have many hats. Mothers, let your children dream. Don't tie them to the earth. Tell them what they're worth and just let them fly. Fathers, let your sons be kind. Don't make them hard and mean. Make them strong within and watch the heights they'll gleam. Everything started as a dream before it could come true. Tell your children, teach them well. It has to come from you. The wonder years of childhood. Don't take their smiles too soon. Make them laugh and draw your bow and shoot them towards the moon. Just a short lullaby.
I'm still writing my check. You can do a few stroms. Yes. Maybe who knows? Maybe another burst of creativity will come through.
Oh, on the spot. Nothing like being on the spot. I can always go to Hawaii, huh? All right, sing along, gang. We all know island style, right? On the island, we do it island style. From the mountains to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountains to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. Well, Mama's in the kitchen cooking dinner real nice. Beef stew on the stove, loamy salmon with the ice. We eat and drink and we sing all day. And we kani kapila in the old Hawaiian way on the island. We do it island style. From the mountains to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountains to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. Well, we go grandma's house on a weekend clean yard, cause if we no go, grandma gotta work hard. You know my grandma, she like a boy real sour. I love my grandma every minute, every hour on the island. We do it island style. From the mountains to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountains to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. From the mountains to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. Dramatic ending. From the mountains to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side.
Woo!
Know where my comfort zone is?
Well, that was wonderful. I like both kinds of music, Mahina. Yeah. And it's what's comfort zone for you would be a huge step of faith for someone else. Mm. Well, um, so I am going to invite Meera to go first with her announcements. Yeah, you can walk up to it. Yeah, yeah. So tell us about your book, and like how much we pay for it, and if you can sign books for a little while after service.
Well, since the book came up, I have some copies that I sell today. If you're interested to buy for yourself or a gift, it's a very, to anybody, you can open it on one page day and get a message for the day, or um, it's a nice gift also. I have my cards there if you want to have some wellness coaching, little tune up on some area of your life. And I am currently trying to get started cancer support group. But if anybody who has experienced it in the past or is experiencing it now, because even if it happened in the past, it's something that it's we can need continuous support to process or control that munchkin that says, "Oh, something is weird now. What is going on now?" So, or we can learn from each other. So, Tuesdays here at 4 o'clock, and but people would need to come next week, because if people don't show up, I'll just try again in January. So if you're interested or know somebody, tell them to come 4 o'clock on Tuesday. And then I'm teaching a meditation class in December 10th. It's a Saturday, 10 to 12:30 here. And it's a simple 20-minute meditation practice that includes a little bit movement and breath exercise and different parts. So it's really easy. It's anybody who has either not meditated ever, or even if you are experienced meditator, it's a very powerful practice. 20-minute. I am 20 here on the 10th of December at 10 o'clock. And what else? I think that's it.
Just one thing. So 3 of your cancer meetings are paid for already. So it would be this week is for sure, and next week also, right?
Right, but if people come, then we know that they're coming. So come this Tuesday. I mean, you can still come week after. Then we decide if it's a go or not, or if I
Yeah.
do more in January. Sometimes people get busy before holidays. So I have flyers also about that. Thank you. And don't hesitate to email or contact if you have any thoughts about what you heard today. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Meera. So I will share the New Thought announcements now. Um, so every Sunday, 10 o'clock, both in person and by computer, and we use YouTube for our method of live streaming. The video is available afterwards. Sometimes we don't get around to doing the editing right away, but you can watch it anyway. There is free childcare provided for the little ones. We do appreciate a reservation because occasionally, if there's a Sunday when without Keiki, then we give Rorden a day off. You can make that reservation just by replying to your newsletter if you're on the newsletter list, or I think it's in our on our website also. Just go to the website and it'll tell you how to send a message through our email system. Finally, we have three wonderful upcoming speakers I can tell you about for the next 3 Sundays. On the 30th of October, Brittany Farmer will be speaking for the first time. Her topic is Death and Rebirth, a visit with the ancestors. And a part of her presentation will be in the form of a journey. The music for the program will be provided by Kaimana Lighthawk. And the following week, the first Sunday of November, that would be the 6th, Kumu Keala Ching will be doing both program and music. His topic is Let's Revisit Aloha. The next Sunday, the 13th, the presenter will be Lydia Weiss, but the focus will be on Anne Inaba, a wonderful New Thought elder who passed a month or so ago, maybe 2 months. But by that time, it'll probably be 2 months. But I think Lydia may have known her the best of any of us New Thought people. And I would say probably for the first quarter century of New Thought's existence, Annie Naba was probably the most important single person. And I think it will be very interesting to learn more about her. The weekly events that we have to look forward to are, as Meera mentioned, on Tuesdays, we're trying out this cancer support group. It's a sliding scale. We're asking $5 per meeting, more if people can afford it, because what is contributed in these first 3 weeks will go into a piggy bank to pay for the second 3 weeks if there's sufficient interest and support. And it would be very helpful if you know someone that whose life has been impacted by cancer or is being impacted, if you could pass on one of those flyers or send them a text so that they know about it. Because I know this would be a great blessing to people if we just can connect the right people to the information. On Wednesdays, we've been enjoying a dream group, which is facilitated by a previous presenter, Lindsay Roth. That's coming to a conclusion this coming Wednesday, but she never closed the class. So if you are interested and didn't come previously, you could still come. It's going to be kind of like we're bringing poo-poos to share. So it will be a little bit of a party. That's also a $5 per meeting suggested donation. And then the following week, once we're into November, Jinan Wang will be restarting his Tai Chi class Unfortunately, the announcement was not correct in the newsletter. It said it was restarting this week. We're hoping nobody will show up, but the following week it'll be great. And if you want to take advantage of his $48 monthly rate, I think it's a savings of $12. You can actually contact him ahead of time to find out how to do that, or be prepared to pay it on November 6th it's a $15 drop-in fee if you don't pay the monthly by the first lesson. Okay, and monthly events. We have a produce giveaway the last Sunday of the month. So that will be happening next week, October 30th. So if you're a farmer, a gardener, or even if you just have one tree that's producing something for you, please bring something to contribute, and be sure to be ready to take some bounty home with you. And there's no money involved. This is just giving and receiving, pure and simple. Sometimes the trees can't wait till the last Sunday. So I see that Gearling brought something this week, which looks really delicious. Mangoes, I believe. So it's in a box right by the gate as you exit. Please help yourself, and thank you, Gearling. The other monthly event is the first Sunday of the month, pre-service healing meditation with crystal bowls. That starts at 8:30, goes till 9, and it's in the Honua room, the indoor room that's just adjacent to where we're meeting. Um, the next event is November 6th, the same day that Kumu is speaking. There are service opportunities here at New Thought. We need Sunday service volunteers, greeters, setup, cleanup, tech help. And one thing that we haven't been mentioning recently is we can use facilitators. And if you volunteer to be a facilitator, you will get some support. Like, you won't just be thrown in. There's this book called the Facilitator's Manual. So, for instance, we can use somebody for next week, in fact. And if you're a first time facilitator, this was one that we can loan. You can study it, ask questions of me or any other experienced facilitator to help you prepare. And there are, when there are events, and we're having more of them. For instance, when Meera does her meditation class in December, if you volunteer to facilitate an event as distinct from a Sunday service, you will get free admission to that event. So it's sort of a work trade. You're helping with the setup, with the collection of fees, whatever support the presenter needs. So we can use that kind of facilitator also. Another thing that came up at our board meeting, we had a board meeting this past week, is the holidays are coming. And we would love to have some people come forward to help with both Thanksgiving. We'd like to have a Thanksgiving meal here on the lanai, and Christmas. We have a long tradition of doing a Christmas Eve service, which requires a fair amount of preparation. It involves both music, food, and inspiring readings, and also you know, the setting up, the uh, technical skills. It's a little different for a nighttime event. So to volunteer for anything, the easiest way is, assuming you're on the newsletter mailing list, just click reply to your New Thought newsletter, and it will be received and responded to. If you're not on the mailing list and would like to be, you can either sign the guest book, which is on the round table near the entryway, or you can go to the New Thought website, and there's a place where you can sign yourself up for the newsletter. And of course, you can also volunteer right on the spot after our closing song. everybody who's a board member who's here this morning, can you raise your hand, please? Higher so that people can see us. Okay. All right. So it looks like there's 3 of us. Okay. All right. Terry, is there anything new I don't know about? Could you come up to the microphone? Because they won't, the live stream folks won't hear.
I just talked to Stephen and he's back home and feeling much better.
Oh, good. Our prayer must have done some good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm part of a hui that is collecting food for people in Ocean View that don't have enough to eat. And we're needing donations primarily for the car that takes food there. So if anybody feels compelled to donate, that would be great.
And those
Oh, it's mostly extra farm produce.
that's how we got connected with this organization, because when we have our produce giveaways, occasionally there's so much that we can't give it all away, and we don't want it to rot. So we've
Yeah,
been
but
sharing
non-perishables are good too.
we've been sharing the
But,
surplus with Terry.
Yeah, we're needing
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. Anna? Okay, about lunch.
I have a minute.
Oh, okay. Let's have Pomai go first, and then I'll respond to that.
Wiki. Mark your calendars for, I believe it's the Monday before Thanksgiving, right that week. Every year for about 15 years now, I think, we have had an interfaith concert service to raise money for the food bank and or canned goods. And this year it's going to be held at the Lutheran Church, which is on Laco Street. And you turn on Laco Street and go to the ocean and just keep going. You'll run right into it. And it's always a lot of fun. The music that people present is amazing. We tried to get it together. New Thought usually participates, but we're taking a pass this year, but we're still going to show up and support everyone. So if you can make it, please come. It's a wonderful wonderful way to spend a few hours and being grateful and joyful and bringing either canned goods with you or some money to purchase canned goods and to help support our community. So please put that on your calendars.
Thank you, Pomai. And that kind of goes with our interfaith theme, because most Sundays, are different faith communities are having their own separate gatherings, but on this Thanksgiving occasion, we kind of get to all come together. And there's usually refreshments afterwards also. So about lunch, so Meera was invited but isn't able to accept our invitation at this time. However, she will hang around in the book area for a while after service, so you can still connect with her in that way. Okay, so let's form a circle to sing our closing song. The lyrics are posted in various places. They're fading a little, but I think you can still make them out. And if you feel comfortable to join hands, that we aren't prohibiting it. And I believe there's some hand sanitizer. So if you feel like you want to sanitize afterwards, we're prepared.
You can come right in front
We
of me,
need a
that's
few
fine.
more people on the left.
E Hawaii e kuone hanawe Kuho me kulaʻiʻine Hoʻino au i nā pono lani o E Hawaii, aloha, haoli na opio Hawaii ne. Mai na ahe makani e pamaine.
We're not supposed to rotate it.
Mau ke aloha no Hawaii. E haoli na opio Hawaii ne. Mai na ahe makani e pamaine. Mau ke aloha no Hawaii. Mau ke aloha no Hawaii.
Aloha. Okay.